Well, hello, everybody. I am so excited today. We are going to talk about how to simplify our whole lives. And I am excited to be coming to you live from Vancouver Island, where we did not celebrate Thanksgiving yesterday, but I know that my American friends did. And I'm just going to put some lotion on my hands because I just get I have like a tactile thing. I cannot stand my hands being dry. So I am going to jump into the content here. Um, but first, I want to just say for my friends that are joining me live, please go ahead, tell me where you are joining from, what you are drinking. I have a delicious, it's called a Winter Earl Grey, and I just picked it up from David's Tea when we went over to Vancouver last week. My husband and I went to see our son, and he goes to university there, and there's a really great Christmas market. And I like that I can pop in and go to David's Tea because we used to have one here, but during the pandemic, it shut down. So it smells really good. Let me know. Rebecca's here from Massachusetts. Mm, mm. Not sure. Not sure I love it, but maybe I do. All right. So today we're talking about simplifying life because life can be crazy chaotic for a lot of us. And sometimes, even if we don't feel like we have like a ton of stuff going on, we still can really be kind of struggling with certain things. Like we can feel like there's stuff all over most of the surfaces of our house, like maybe like in the kitchen and in the bathroom and the entranceway, all of the things. Maybe you realize that your family is bickering a lot of the time and they're leaving messes. You feel like you want them to support you more, but they maybe don't know how, or maybe they don't understand why it's important to you. So, we're going to jump into how to tackle a lot of that stuff, like feeling overwhelmed with all of the things, feeling overextended, feeling like you want to tackle the mess. First, though, I want to talk. So, yesterday was Thanksgiving for all of my American friends, which makes today Black Friday. Now, here in Canada, we didn't have Black Friday for the longest time, and I could not even understand Black Friday. And what I realized is, and so here and in the UK as well, there's a thing called Boxing Day, and nobody exactly knows where that came from. But Boxing Day is was a day where there were like huge sales. I think there still are, but I love that Black Friday. Honestly, I used to be so bitter about it. Now I'm so happy because it does bring a lot of sales. We do need to be careful though. So before I go on, I am just going to pop in and say hi to my friends. Hi, Sandra, decluttering from my basement, drinking water. That's great. Aliana from Oakland. Hello, having coffee. Loving with intention. That's Lindsay, our favorite relationship coach. She's here. She's already had her coffee. And Stacy from Wisconsin and Elisa here. Hello. So anyway, back to Black Friday. So Black Friday is a funny thing because we can really feel like we just have to buy. And I used to be like this. Like it makes sense that we would think that way because all of a sudden all of these things are on sale and we don't want to miss out on that. And we're like, oh, but this, but that. But is it on sale if you weren't going to buy it anyway? And so, there are a lot of things we can do. And I talked about this in my video earlier this week. And I just want to say, just be very careful with what you are thinking. Like if you're like buying gifts, that's great. If it's things that you've been waiting, I actually do that. Like I wait for things to go on sale for Black Friday. So there are a couple of things that I'm going to purchase. One of my favorite things though is the time saving, money saving, like sanity saving app that I talked about earlier this week, and that is Plan to Eat. And I'm going to put this on the screen so you can see it. They have their 50% off sale November 29th to December 2nd. And I wanted to draw attention to that because it's $24.50 for the year. It is so awesome. I actually had a client tell me about it a couple of years ago. And she actually was a person. And one of the things I'm going to talk about in a minute about how to simplify your life um, is really being organized with your stuff. And she taught me about this because she just had a great way of doing things. So I'm going to show you. That's the app, and it is so great. Like you import all of your favorite recipes from like wherever. You can just take pictures from cookbooks, put them in there. That's what I often do, but I do often do the like recipe importer thing, and then you can just plan out your meals for the week, and then you can do a grocery shopping list. I absolutely love it. So make sure that you grab that deal. It is just you don't want to miss this. It's only once a year where it goes on 50% off, and it's only for 4 days. So I'll go ahead and put my link in the comments in a second, but it is going to just be something that you will want to get every single year. So, anyway, back to how to simplify our entire life. I have a really great, simple system for how you can actually do that. And the first thing that we need to do is to recognize sort of like where we are in life right now. Um, so I have this system that I have developed, and it's called the Mighty Method. And I have broken it down. Now, a lot of you may know I'm a trained emergency nurse. I don't practice emergency nursing anymore. But the very first thing that we do is we triage. We need to know what the heck is going on. We can't just go ahead and be like, "Oh, your arm is broken. I'm just going to like fix it before or like set it before we even actually know what's wrong." We need to actually do a full evaluation assessment. So that is exactly the very first thing that we're going to do. If you feel like you're stressed and you're struggling with life in general, you feel like you don't have time to yourself, you feel like you're always behind, you're struggling to keep up with things, laundry, housework, even if you're like, I'm not crazy busy, but there's still a stuff everywhere and I don't know how to tackle it. The main thing is that you're going to want to do a triage. We're going to look at all of the areas of our life and we're going to ask ourselves, what the heck is the worst here? So, say we're going to look at the example of clutter because that's one of our favorite topics here. And I always like to talk about the kitchen. So, say you like walk in the kitchen and you're like, what the heck is the worst problem that I have in here? So, for me, quite often and I think like everybody does this, and I am not perfect. And the lovely Elisa here helped coin the phrase minimalist light. Like I have hobbies. I have just gotten into food photography for my other channel, which does come with a little bit of extra stuff. Like you're plating food, it's looking beautiful, but you need to ask yourself, like, where are the things collecting? Where is the clutter accumulating? So that is part of the triage. So for me in my house, I would be like, well, the clutter is often it gets at the end of the island in the kitchen. Right. So we're looking at that area. Other areas of your life that you might like to evaluate or triage would be um, like your time. Time is so huge for all of us. In fact, for me, time is like the thing that you can never get more of. Like you can get more money. Thank you, Elisa. Her gift to me. You can get more money. You can get, and a lot of people they feel really stressed about money, and I totally understand that. And that is one of the things that you would triage, you would assess. But time is the one thing we can never get back. So where are you losing the most time? Where are those time leaks? And energy. Energy is a huge thing for so many of us. Where are your energy leaks? So we're going to assess all of these different areas of our life and look at where the heck we're losing all of that. And I just want to jump in and say hi to more of my friends here. Simone is here. Hello, it's lunchtime, she says. Ladybug is drinking Glow wine. You know what? When we were at the Vancouver Christmas market, they had Glow wine, and I was tempted to try it, but I don't really drink. So and it just makes me like literally like a couple sips, and I'll be like, oh, so I didn't, but I would like to try it one day. I watch like walking tours sometimes of places like in Germany and Switzerland and stuff, and they have glow wine there. Phoenix Sullivan from Oklahoma, wood burning warrior. I'm against Black Friday because it's so stressful. Yeah. And Lady Thomas from Belgium. And the thing is, like, just to jump on the Black Friday thing, you can use it strategically, right? Like I do have things in certain carts on certain websites because it's handy. Like, you can get so much of your Christmas shopping done, and that was always my issue with Black Friday. And there was this show, it used to be called Corner Gas in Canada, and it was like this family where they were like, "Oh," and this is not like making fun of anybody who doesn't have money, but or like, who's really like struggling, but they would say like, "Oh yeah, like we're not doing presents on Christmas." And everybody was like, "Oh my gosh, this is so sad." And like they got them gifts and stuff and then brought them to this house, and they were so offended. They're like, "No, we just buy stuff on Boxing Day because that's when things go on sale." So I truly am happy that we can take part of Black Friday now. It just makes sense to me. So anyway, back to the mighty method where we are talking about all of the things. So it's triage. And then the second part of the method is to simplify. So once you have understood where we are losing our time, losing our money, there's clutter coming up, um, all of the things that are wrong, then we can start to simplify. So back to the kitchen, for example, you could say, well, I don't like how stuff is going on the end of the counter. So take a step back, and again, like, you can sort of blend this with triage a bit and say like, what exactly is ending up on the end of the counter there, right? And then decluttering that. And the rest of your kitchen, like, quite often there, I was looking at my tea collection today, you guys, and quite often the reason why we can't put stuff away is because there's other stuff that we're not using in that space. So once we declutter that stuff, and I am going to jump up into my tea cupboard today. I'm not even going to bother filming it, um, because there is just when there's stuff taking place, then things end up out and about causing more and more clutter. So then you're simplifying. You're getting rid of the stuff you're not using, the stuff that's not serving you any value. Even if you might use it one day, you probably won't. And I will get to like sort of my biggest gripe I have, that a lot of people have sort of a reason why they think that they can't declutter that stuff, in a minute. But the third part of the mighty method, so there's triage, simplify, and the third is thrive, and that is creating systems. So back to, why is that stuff accumulating on the end of the island? What is going on there? So for me, I could say, well, we needed to create some homes for things. Okay, done that. But then what kind of system can we accumulate? Because people will just walk in and they put stuff there. What kind of stuff is going there, and what kind of system can we develop that is going to um, prevent that from happening? So the best is to deal with whatever it is you have immediately and not to put it down. That's like my favorite. And that is the one that I am the worst at. In fact, I was looking at my house today and I was like, oh, there's a little bit of stuff like lying around. And I was like, okay, most of it's mine. I've got like cookbooks lying around, and I've got like other books and this and that, and like a box of Christmas ornaments that I didn't put away. So it's like, what is the system that I would have so that I can prevent that? Well, the first would be clean up after myself when I'm done, just like we tell our preschoolers to do. And that's what in our house we are doing. We need to put stuff away when we're done with it. Another great system could be, and for me, a huge one is reminders. So before I set something down, I should say to myself, like, can you go and deal with this now? And I have been so good at that lately. But another thing is like doing a quick round of in your house at the end of the day at like 7 or 8 o'clock. For me in my house, it's getting later and later just because my kids are getting older. But doing a round at the house and like everybody picking up their stuff, that is so handy. And for me, my biggest issue is how am I going to remember that? Well, another part of that system is how am I going to remember and remind myself? And my favorite thing is just like using my phone, setting my phone for a daily reminder that we pick up the stuff in our house. So now you might be like me where you're going to just ignore that. Like set it as a straight up alarm. That can be really helpful. And then hopefully the family starts to recognize that. There are so many different types of systems that you can use. You can use systems for um, like meal planning, for example, using the Plan to Eat app or whatever it is you want. Really handy because so often we'll be like, oh my gosh, like it's dinner, and everybody's like, what's for dinner? Another could be like finances and money. I love to use my money app because a lot of these things they just we just need to take a step back and be like, what is the problem? I'm going to triage it. I'm going to see what's the worst part of that problem. Then I'm going to simplify whatever I can. Not everything can be, but even like sometimes we have kids that are in too many activities, or there's like one thing that we're taking a part of that taking part of that we don't need to. Our time is being pulled in too many directions for a particular season of life that we're in. So that can be really helpful. So you're looking at that and then you're simplifying and then creating those systems to go with it. So that is my favorite way to simplify life. And actually, I am going to be creating a very fun, new, inexpensive way for us to all chat about this together. And you can get on the wait list for it. It's going to be called the Tidy Mighty Club. We are going to simplify your whole life, your whole house, everything. So it all is running like clockwork. Um, I have a bonus from our wonderful relationship coach in there so that we can get our families on board. So go to minimalisthome.ca/tidy to get on that wait list. It really is just a wait list. You're not going to be obligated to anything. And it will, then you'll be the first to know when those doors open. Let me look here. Jen is here from Louisiana. Hello. And Dawn from Ohio. I'm drinking coffee, just checking an order to David Steve. That's awesome. Another thing I was going to say, so feel free to pop your questions in the chat now. I've given away my simplifying your life secret for the day. I'm going to have a sip of tea, but go ahead, pop your questions in. I'm going to tell you my favorite system for this time of year, and some of you may be aware of it. I think it's growing on me. So this time of year can get crazy chaotic. Like, tell me in the chat what stresses you out the most right now. For me, like, I remember very clearly when I was a kid going and visiting my grandparents in Alberta and standing at the window at night. I was always like that kid that was up at night and I was just looking out the window and it was beautiful, snowy. And I just was like, this is so nice. This is so peaceful. I was probably like 10 or 11. And I just remember being so like just having that time for reflection at Christmas. And I feel like as adults and probably as women, we really lose a lot of that. And maybe you're like, I'm okay with that. But for me, I was losing a lot of that. And I like to do a lot of things at Christmas. I want to have a lot of fun. But I also want so much downtime. One of the things I do is I start a lot of my stuff in the middle of November. Now, if you're like, well, it's too late for me, it's not, because I had this sort of like realization about 5 years ago, and it was the 22nd of December. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, um, I, I can make this better for years to come. And that's when I created this book, my Christmas control journal, which is like a fly lady idea. But I just started making lists of things that would make every year easier. I have my Christmas playlist. I've got my pantry staples. So things that I need and want to have. I also have things to buy a bit later. Like Christmas morning, we like to have like lox salmon on bagels and capers and cream cheese, like all of the things that I want to have. And it just makes it so easy. So when it's the beginning of November, I'll just go ahead and I will just look at what I need to buy. I also have like things like my planning, like getting the tires on the car, booking our hotel for our annual trip to Victoria, which is coming up soon, making wreaths, booking tickets to the Polar Express, which I actually just did yesterday because my oldest son, he's not able to come with us this year. It's so sad. He's got to work. Um, and a Balsam Hill Christmas tree. I actually bought really great, wonderful little minimalist Christmas tree because our big tree, let me know what you think. Like if you feel the same way. It has like that cone kind of look, and I wanted something that looked a little more natural. Finally got one. It was on sale. I've got my favorite shows like Scrooged, Elf, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, even Christmas with the Cranks. I really like Krampus, although I'm not feeling Krampus this year. Charlie Brown, Garfield, Christmas Story, Yogi, Die Hard, all of the fun things. I even have like hiding spots where I have put Post-its there before. Now I think I mostly just hide things in the same spot. And I have got like making a budget, getting my wrapping supplies organized. And one of the things that I'll do is of the things that like I've got like booking our hotel to Victoria is I put a reminder in my phone every year. It comes up October 1st. Go ahead and book that hotel, which really is very handy. I have my favorite baking, which is great. And on my other channel, Minimalist Home Living, I've been doing a lot of that baking, and you can get a lot of those recipes. Like, and I actually just earlier this week made one of a bunch of like Canadian Christmas trees, which was fun. And then I've got like my favorite snacks, sausage rolls. I made that in one of the recipes, mushroom dip. I'm actually going to be filming a video later today and one tomorrow because I'm catching up on all of this stuff. So I was like, I may as well film myself. And Christmas dinner, all of the things that we like to have. Like it really just makes it so much simpler. And liquor, all of these things, like, and I even like have like a lot of the recipes in here. Spicy pecans. I'm actually making that one tomorrow. And gifts. Now, this one I think is really fun because I have like Post-its of gifts from years past. So I can even look because, like, tell me, please, your favorite gifts for teenage boys. Please tell me. Because, yeah, it is really, really hard to buy for them. But like last year, I put down a knife for one of my sons. And what's crazy is for our middle son, we didn't think he would want like a knife, so we just gave him money and clothes, and he was so sad. So we were like, okay, I guess he doesn't just want money and clothes, so we'll give him something. I don't know. Please tell me your favorite treats for or gifts for teenage boys. I've done like so many videos about that, but sometimes it's hard. Actually, I was thinking of getting him a rice cooker because he's graduating this year and he is maybe moving to Alberta in the fall, and he loves to cook, and he had been asking for a rice cooker. Knives are good gifts. And Maggie says Die Hard is a Christmas movie. Maggie, I will tell you something. Die Hard is such a good Christmas movie. We watch it on Christmas Eve. We watch that and It's a Wonderful Life. I love it. Good morning from New Orleans, Mitzi. Hi. And Shaner. Freedom. Totally. They want freedom. And Elisa says knives are good gifts. And they are. Now, my mother-in-law, tool chest for the car. Ooh, that's a good idea because he actually does have a car. Yeah, and for my mother-in-law, my mom, and my grandparents, I make a Christmas basket of goodies. So that's part of the reason why I start cooking in November too, is then I have those goodies that I can put aside, which is really handy. Oh, thank you, Mitzi. Mitzi's very sweet. Smash the like button. Oh, and make sure that you are subscribed. I actually have a video coming out on Monday where I'm explaining that. I really want you guys to subscribe, actually, and I'll give you a quick channel update as well. But there's a longer one coming on Monday. Sherry says, "Are you still taking new clients to coach?" I will, yeah. And I have a system or a program where what we do is we work one-on-one, but I will do like a video chat. So we'll have a quick Zoom call and you can get like a package of 5, but we'll have a quick Zoom call and then you declutter for the day and you send me messages back and forth and I help. I'm your accountability buddy. People love it and they get so much done. Like one lady, she just decluttered her whole house in five sessions. Let's see. And then Sherry also says, also, I have china that was my mom's and I never use it. It's very pretty, not microwavable, hard to part with though, but we never use it. And so my question to you would be, are you hanging on to it because it was your mom's? Like you never even use it at Christmas, anything like that? I would probably, this is what I would do. I would take pictures of it. And probably I would let it go. If you can't put it in the microwave, you can't put it in the dishwasher, and those are things that you want to be able to do. Let it go unless it truly is one of those sentimental things. The other thing you could do is, and people might say, "Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'll check my email, Sherry." But one of the things is that so a lot of people, they feel really bad about breaking up sets of things. And I think that you don't need to. You can for sure. Let me just scratch my bag. Take one piece of everything if you want from that set, or one cup or one plate. There's nothing wrong. I mean, sure, some people might be like, "You're a monster. How can you break up a beautiful set like that?" Hey, it's yours. You're giving it away. You're selling it, whatever. Go ahead. Take one piece, use it for, to put a plant on or whatever. There you go. I would consider that. And Sherry, go ahead and go to my website, minimalisthome.ca, go to the about page and email me from there. I just checked my email. I don't see it. Although I'm going to be honest with you, I have let my email get a bit out of control. Thank you, Lars. Yeah. So the Christmas baskets that I make, I just put some goodies in. I will maybe put like a gift card or something for like a restaurant or whatever. My mother-in-law says she doesn't want anything this year, and except for she likes the goodie box, which I think is like really fun. And I am going to go to the like Michael's and get a few like nicer bags because I don't want to just put them in like a Ziploc bag. So I think that is really, really fun. And yeah, I would love any more questions if you guys want before we wrap up. I'm very excited to be filming some goodies, some savory treats for get together we have in our house every year. We have like family over for sort of like an open house, and I'm going to those are good gifts too. Yeah, thank you, Elisa. Yeah, so I'm going to make some appetizers to have ready to go because I don't the Christmas dinner, I love it. At the same time, I really want to take I don't know, there's something about just wanting to take that day to relax with the family. I'm really sad because my oldest, he just has to work so much. He works in retail, and retail is just, it is what it is at Christmas time. And it's like they work like dogs, and then January comes around and people are like, "Okay, well, now we don't need too much of you," but he's okay. So yeah. And then the other thing I do is I have like a chocolate list because chocolates are another really great gift to give, especially like that I'll put in my gift basket for the family. So I have this like little book here, my Christmas journal, and I absolutely love it for just keeping on top of all of the things. So yeah, I hope that you guys are excited going into the season, that you can get your life simplified as much as you want to, that you can make it um, just as peaceful and have that downtime. And I know it can be a hard time of year for a lot of people too. So how can you make that enjoyable? I have a lovely friend, and she has a one child, and she's separated or divorced, and her ex, they swap this child out halfway through Christmas. So she always goes and she treats herself. She goes to the spa's open, and she really makes it like a special time. And I think that's a really, really good idea. I gave an older friend a chocolate tart and an orchid yesterday. She loved it. That's so great too. I think, like, to me, the perfect gift. If you give me food, I am so happy. One year I made antipasto, and I put that in the basket too. So really fun. Well, friends, I'm going to get ready. I'm going to go and cook up. If you haven't checked my other channel, Minimalist Home Living, which is youtube.com/the @ and Minimalist Home Living. That is where you can enjoy some cozy cooking. You can see some of the sort of like minimalism, how I'm able to just like have a relaxing cooking day. And Simon says, great timing since we got our first bit of real snow today. Oh my gosh. Already melted though. I was actually looking out at our weather, and it is just like, it's just gray, but it's green. So I would go to Alberta, and I visit them. Sometimes we're tempted to move there because it's so sunny there in the winter, but people will say to me, "Is it green?" And I'm like, "It's always green." So that, at least that's nice, but it is very gray for like 4 months, more like 6 months. Anyway, friends, thank you for joining me. I hope that you have a wonderful week. We're going to see you in a couple weeks for another live stream. Stay tidy and mighty. I hope something great happens for you today. Thank you so much for watching and joining me, and I'll see you next time.